Okay, so let us start with the next topic in our interview preparation series here. So here we are going to discuss today group discussion and team-based interviews. Okay. So now it is important for us first to understand what basically is a group discussion. Okay. So group discussion is a structured form of communication where a group of candidates they discuss a particular topic or issue within a given time frame, usually under the observation of evaluators. Okay. So we all have been in our, in any stage of life, we all have been gone through group discussions. So this is a very, very common technique, selection technique rather, used in recruitment, okay, especially for management, communication, and leadership oriented roles, right? So the objective is not only to test the knowledge, but it is also to assess a candidate's communication skills, their teamwork skills, leadership, reasoning, and their behavior under pressure. Okay. So typically in a GD, you will notice that there are around 8 to 12 participants, okay, are given a topic and they are given a time of, something around 15 to 20 minutes to present their ideas, listen to others and arrive to a logical conclusion. So it is a full process that you follow in the GD. Okay, that is a group discussion. So group discussion basically help recruiters evaluate qualities that can't be measured through written test or maybe personal interviews. Okay. So the main purpose of GDs are what? First is it helps in assessing the communication skills. So ability to articulate thoughts clearly and logically. That gets checked there. Okay. It also tells how well you collaborate as a candidate, how well you collaborate, respect others' opinions or differing opinions, okay, and maintain a group harmony. Here, as a candidate, you work on presenting your arguments supported by facts, data, and reasoning. So they check your intellectual capacity also. And yes, of course, your communication, intellectual, and your the way you behave, all those are important. But what about your, your listening skills? So understanding others' viewpoints before you respond. So that listening skill is also very, very important, right? Initiative taking, guiding the discussions, and summarizing the key points. This shows the leadership qualities that you can present during your GDs. And, GDs also help in making decision making also for the evaluators. How? Because there you try to contribute, you as a candidate, you contribute to the group's conclusion, okay, in a very balanced and say objective manner. Okay, so your such type of behavior, your such type of skills help the evaluators come to a conclusion, to a decision. Okay, and of course, you have to stay calm and you have to be assertive, even in conflicting type of situations as well. So that is where uh, during group discussions, they check your confidence, your composure also. So that is why group discussions are very, very important. Okay. But before we go ahead, let us let us understand a quick structure of the group discussion. Okay. So first is the introduction phase. That is opening phase. We also call it as opening phase. So here a participant initiates the discussion with a very clear introduction to the topic. Okay. So a good start sets a positive tone and can help establish leadership. Then comes the middle part, that is the body of the group discussion. This we work on exchanging of ideas. So participants, they share arguments, examples, and counterpoints. Right here, active listening, logical reasoning, and respectful disagreement are very, very crucial at this stage. And then comes the conclusion phase, or also known as closing phase. So here the group collectively summarizes the discussion, or a participant provides a balanced conclusion. So the conclusion should reflect the consensus or highlight the key takeaways. Okay, so that is where we work on the, this is the structure of the group discussion. Okay, so there are few facts that I'll share here with you. First is usually a typical GD, okay, that will last from around 15 to 25 minutes, okay, and around 80% of management institutions and top corporates in India include GDs as part of their selection process, okay, and the size that we usually follow during the GD is around 8 to 12 candidates per discussion, okay, and on average, around 2 or more panelists, they observe each GD to ensure fairness and diversity of judgment. Okay. And, post pandemic. So many companies, many organizations, they have moved to virtual GDs also by using platforms, like Teams is there, Gmeet, Zoom and all. Okay, and according to a recent survey of the job market data, around 30 to 40% of the candidates, they advance past the GD stage when they combine strong communication with data-based reasoning. Okay, so these things are very, very important when you are working on your the group discussions. Okay, now let us work on the types of group discussions. Okay, so group discussions, they can be categorized based on the nature of the topic, objective of the discussions, or the style of assessment. So there are three criteria. First is nature of the topic, okay, style of assessment, and objective of the discussion. So each type tests different skills, okay, from critical thinking to teamwork and creativity. Right, so let us understand the major types here. First one is your factual GD. Okay, so these topics are based on real world issues, okay, data or current events. Okay, so they test your awareness, your reasoning skills, and your ability to use facts logically. For example, say impact of artificial intelligence on employment in India. Okay, or electric vehicles are the future of mobility. So such type of topics you will get. Okay, so here what recruiters will assess, they will check your awareness of current affairs. Okay, they will check your logical reasoning and how you are using the statistics and real examples. Okay, so I'll share some tips here with you. First is, of course, you need to stay updated with the latest news, policies, and some economic trends. Okay, try to use facts, reports, or case examples to strengthen your points and maintain balance. Present both pros and cons before concluding your, point of view. Okay, so that is your first type of GD, that is factual GD. Then the next we have is the abstract GDs. So here, by the name itself, abstract. So abstract topics are open-minded, okay, philosophical, or creative in nature. So they test your ability to think differently, interpret ideas, and connect abstract concepts to practical realities. Okay, for example, red is more powerful than blue. Okay, so such type of topics. Or say, the roots define the tree. Such type of examples are also there. Okay, so these topics, such type of topics where you can blend your interpretation with the real life scenarios. So here the recruiters or the evaluators, they assess you on your creativity and your originality of thought. Ability, they check your ability to interpret metaphorical or symbolic ideas. And of course, they check your communication and reasoning skills as well. So such type of, GD topics, abstract GDs are very, very common in management institutions. Okay. Then the tips that I'm going to share here with you is, it is important, take a moment, because there can be very, what should I say, shocking type of topics you can get. Okay. Some very, very uncomfortable type of surprises you might get from just by hearing the topics. So take a moment, okay, to interpret the topic. Don't rush. Just think about it. Okay, how can you use that topic in your real life? Okay, start by defining the term or phrase in your own words. Okay, what you understood just by hearing the topic. Use analogies. Use real life examples to give depth to your ideas. That is why I always tell my audience, my learners, to read more and more. Okay, link abstract ideas with practical, relatable examples. This can only happen when you read. You should start reading business magazines. Okay, start reading self-help books. Start reading newspapers. Okay, you doesn't even if you are a person who reads novels also, go for novels that gives you ideas about different perspectives. So, for example, you are from a marketing background. Okay, so start reading novels. Like you can go to Sydney Sheldon, okay, John Grisham, such type of novels you can read, which give you a perspective of a totally different world altogether. Okay, then the third type we have is the controversial GD. So these topics, they involve sensitive or debatable issues, okay, with very, very strong opposing viewpoints. So they test your emotional intelligence, your diplomacy, and tolerance for different opinions. Very common for leadership roles. Okay, so for example, say politics should be kept out of sports. Recently, this was in the news, right? After what happened in India and Pakistan match, right? So politics should be kept out of sports. So that can be one topic, right? Or say social media does more harm than good. So such type of topics you can, you will get to discuss about. Okay. So here the recruiters, they will assess your ability to stay calm and respectful under disagreements. That is what this GD is all about. Controversial GDs by the name itself. Okay, lot of heated arguments can come up. So they will check your balanced argumentation. Okay, they will check your emotional maturity and your conflict management. Right? So some tips here, avoid making some extreme or personal stands. Do not pinpoint on anyone. Okay? Acknowledge opposing sides' valid points. It is very important. Yes, they are giving some valid points. Accept it. Okay? And maintain a calm and respectful tone, even during some heated moments. Okay? Keeping your calm, your composure is very important. Doesn't matter what type of GD you are working on. Okay? Focus on facts and not on emotions. Okay. Then the fourth type we have is the case-based GD. So candidates are given a case study, or maybe they are given a business situation or a scenario, and they are asked to analyze it collectively. These are common in management and corporate hiring processes. Very, very common. Okay, so for example, a startup has a, say, a limited marketing budget. So how should it allocate resources? Okay, you might get the marketing budget also, right? Or say your company is facing high attrition among the employees. Discuss possible causes and solutions. Okay, so such type of topics you might get, or maybe you can get a full case study also. Okay, so here the recruiters check your analytical and problem solving skills because it is case based. Of course, they check your problem solving skills. They work on your team work and your collaboration skills as well. Okay, your decision making, leadership abilities. So these type of skills are being assessed here. Okay, so some tips that I can share here with you is read and understand the case very carefully before you start speaking. Identify the problem, analyze the causes, okay, and suggest some feasible solutions. Don't just, out of the blue, you have some random solutions. Don't do that. Think about it. Give evidence to support your solutions. Okay, build on others' points also. Okay, instead of just arguing unnecessarily. Okay, back your suggestions with, of course, logic and examples. Do that. Okay, then the fifth one we have is the opinion seeking GDs. So these GDs are designed to gather diverse opinions, okay, about a concept, product, or policy. Right, so they are very common in marketing, HR, and consulting types of interviews. Okay, so for example, they can ask you, is remote work the future of employment? Okay, or should college education be made free? So such a type of questions where they seek your opinion. Okay, so here the recruiters, they assess your ability to think from multiple perspectives. Employee, employer, government, individual, etc. Okay, customer. Then clarity of communication and your balanced reasoning. Okay, so here, whenever you're working on your such type of GDs, present a structured opinion. The structure, what structure will you follow? Introduction, argument, example, conclusion. Okay, IAEC. Introduction, argument, example, and conclusion. That is the structure that you will always follow in such type of GDs. Be flexible, adapt your opinion. Okay, if new insights they emerge during the discussion, so work on it. Okay, take it, not a problem. Encourage quieter members to share their thoughts, not just it is not compulsory that you follow it only here. Do it everywhere, every type of interview GD. Okay, then the sixth we have, and the final one is group task based GDs. So instead of a verbal discussion, candidates are given a task to complete together. Okay, such as ranking the priorities, planning an event, or solving a hypothetical problem. Okay, so for example, say you are stranded on an island, okay, with limited resources. They will list the resources, okay. Decide what to use first and how will you get back to safety. Okay, or maybe plan a CSR campaign for your company with X amount of budget, say 1 crore or 2 crores or 5 crores, something like that. Okay, so here the recruiters, they assess your teamwork and your cooperation skills. They check your leadership and decision making skills, and Your time management and negotiation skills are also measured here. Okay. So some tips that I will share here with you is participate actively. Okay. And don't dominate. Okay. Encourage consensus and divide the roles. Okay. Tell people what roles they have. Keep the group focused on the objectives. So obviously you will, it's not just that you will do it. Everyone will do their part. Okay. And avoid conflicts. Promote collaboration here because your goal is to come to a conclusion. Okay. Clear for everyone, I hope. If you have any doubts, you can raise your hand, or rather I will advise you to put your questions in the chat box or wait till the end, then we will discuss. Okay. Okay. Now, there are some quick tips and strategies that I will share here with you. Okay, so let me first work on some tips. Okay, so anyhow, the tips I have already shared with you with the types of GDs, but here let me work on it. Tips. Okay, so first is structure your thought. Okay, there is a framework that we follow, or a format if we follow is prep format. Okay, prep means point, a reason, example, point, restate. Okay, give your point, give a reason behind that, use an example or some evidence, and then restate your point. Okay, that is prep. Then maintain your body language. Sit straight or stand straight. Maintain eye contact with everyone. Okay, and avoid some negative gestures. Okay, so body gestures like drooping, or you are showing, you are just not allowing anyone else to speak. Okay, so these are all different types of negative gestures. Stop doing that. Listen actively, don't interrupt. Okay, be very respectful, respond constructively, very very important. You will, many people, what they do when they enter a GD, their only aim is to make themselves correct. They are the only one who are correct. That is not how it should be. Okay, a good GD is giving opportunity for everyone to speak and accept their viewpoints. Okay, stay time conscious, contribute meaningfully 3 to 4 times into the discussion. Okay, for around 15 to 20 minutes. 15 to 20 minutes GD is there. You can try to contribute around 3 to 4 times. Okay, try 3 or 4 minutes only, not more than that. Give opportunity for everyone to speak and summarize effectively if given the chance. Close the GD with a balanced conclusion. Highlight the major takeaways. Very, very important. Okay. There are some strategies that you can use to stand out in a group discussion. Okay. So group discussions are not only about what you say. Okay. They are basically about how you think, engage, and influence others. Okay, so recruiters are watching for what? Leadership, clarity in your communication, your presence, and your emotional intelligence. So here, let us discuss some unique strategies. Okay, first is start strong, but smartly. Okay, so the first speaker often sets the tone. However, rushing to start without any structure can backfire. Okay, so take 10 to 15 seconds to organize your thoughts. Okay, start with the framework. So what that framework can be? First is definition, fact, or maybe a short context. Okay, you can use the idea opener also. Idea opener is a technique basically. So idea, I is introduce the topic. Okay, define it briefly. D is direct the focus, state what aspect you will discuss. E is exemplify it, use some type of facts or evidence, okay, or maybe a stat. And idea A is ask or invite. Okay, open it to the group now. Okay, clear for everyone? So try to appear informed, composed, and inclusive. Very, very important. Next strategy that I can share here with you is build on others' points, but don't repeat it. Okay, so recruiters, they love candidates who listen actively. Okay, and they add value rather than dominating the discussion. So use linking phrases that acknowledge others before you add your own input. Say, for example, I completely agree with X point about accessibility. To add another dimension here, then continue with your point. Okay, or building on ABC's idea, I think the challenge also lies in this and this. Okay, so show respect, teamwork, and intellectual agility. Okay, then use, there are two frameworks that though I've shared two earlier also, I'll share two more frameworks. One is PESTEL framework and one is SWOT framework. Okay, so PESTEL is what? Political, economic, social, technological, legal, environmental. I'm repeating again. Political, economical, okay, economic, social, technological, legal, and environmental. So this PESTEL framework will help you to structure complex topics logically. Okay, so when you are given a broad topic or broad concept, broad issue, then you can use such type of frameworks. Then you have SWOT and SWOT framework. SWOT is what? Strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Okay, you can work on these frameworks to come up with a point. Okay, try to use micro summaries also during the GD. So summarizing often get the extra attention, okay, for clarity and leadership. So after few people have spoken, okay, interject briefly with a mini summary. Say, you can say, so far we have identified uh, that AI increases efficiency but may reduce human jobs. Okay, so let's now discuss about this and this topic, solutions to balance the two, for example. Okay, so shows your listening skills, your focus, and your initiative without dominating. Okay, try to introduce fresh angles also. So GDs reward unique perspectives and others, okay, and that others might not have mentioned yet. Okay, so bring in some examples, some statistics, some analogies. Okay, connect with the topic with social, environmental, and say ethical dimensions. Okay, link the discussions to future implications or maybe some innovations. Right? So this displays your creativity, your awareness, and your critical thinking skills. Okay, use there is one technique, that is bridge and pivot. Bridge and pivot technique. Okay, so it helps redirect, sorry, it helps redirecting an unproductive discussion back to focus. Okay, so when the group goes off the track, what you can do is with bridge and pivot, you can take it back, take it back to the point, focus point. So I think you can say something like that. I think we are moving slightly away from the main point, which is say sustainability in energy and not cost efficiency. Okay, so let's bring it back to renewable solutions. Okay, so here what you did, you demonstrated your You built that bridge and you pivot them back to the main topic. So it demonstrates your leadership and focus without sounding too bossy also. Okay. Be a harmonizer as well when such conflicts often arises in GDs. Okay. And companies value calm problem solvers. Okay, so if two people or two or more people are disagreeing, so mediate with the diplomacy. Okay, both of you made valid points, one about this and one about the other. Okay, perhaps the solution lies in balancing both. Like this, you can work on it. Okay, this shows your emotional intelligence, your EQ, your composure, and your maturity. Okay, one very good tip I'll share, strategy rather, I'll share here with you is use storytelling or your personal insight. Okay, so real examples make your points memorable. Okay, so if it is relevant, share a quick real story or some observation. So, for example, when I worked on the college project or this project, this is how we worked on it. This is how the people reacted. Okay, so that is why I believe the technology can truly bridge the gap. Okay, so like this, you can share about from your personal experiences. Okay, and use storytelling technique here. So this makes your contribution authentic and relatable. Okay, and power of pausing, that is very, very important. Okay, silence used intentionally signals confidence. So pause before speaking to show control. Okay, but not too long. Otherwise, people will think you forgot your point. Okay, just few seconds pause. 2 seconds is more than enough. So pause after an important point also to let it sink in. Okay, so this avoids sounding rushed and shows your poise, your calm and composure body language. Okay, deliver a very powerful summary. This is very important. Okay, if by chance you get the point, you get the chance to work on the final summary. Okay, this often decides who made the lasting impression. Okay, so revisit the key arguments from both sides. Okay, pro and con. Avoid introducing new points here and end with a balanced, optimistic conclusion. This shows your leadership, your comprehension, and your articulation. Okay, some few extra tips I'll share here with you is use inclusive language. Okay, we could do it. Let's explore. Okay, perhaps we can discuss. So we is there, should be there. Okay, work on balance and say assertive and what should I say? Balanced assertiveness and empathy. Okay, speak with authority, but stay open to others' ideas as well. And keep your data handy. One credible fact can elevate your argument instantly. Okay, observe non-verbal cues from the participants, nod to show listening, maintain steady eye contact. Okay, and try to stay composed under pressure. So even if you are interrupted, smile and re-enter politely. Okay, I hope this is clear to everyone. Then it is very important to work on some of the guidelines or and some common mistakes that we can avoid. Okay, so group discussions again are very, very crucial part, okay, in selection. So that is why we have to be very, very what should I say, open for such type of rounds during the selection process. Okay, so these GDs, they work on your communication, your problem solving, your analytical thinking, your teamwork, okay, your confidence, diplomacy, your decision making skills. So they work how balanced, composed, and impactful participant you are. Okay. So let us work on some guidelines. First is understand the topic before speaking. This you already understood just before, just 2 minutes before, right? Jumping in too soon can make you sound unprepared or off topic. So listen carefully when the moderator announces the topic. Take 10 to 15 seconds to gather your thoughts. Okay. If you're unsure, it's okay. Let one or two people speak first and then contribute meaningfully. Okay. So it's not always about rushing. I need to speak first. I need to speak first. That mindset should not be there. Okay. So if unsure, let one to two people speak before you. Okay. Reframe the topic in your own words before beginning. Okay. It shows your comprehension skills. Structure your thoughts. So we worked on the prep formula. We worked on pestle and SWOT formula also. Okay, prep is what? Point, reason, example, point. Restate your point. Okay, try to keep each contribution short to at least 1 to 2 minutes. And if it is a very short type of GD, then 30 to 45 seconds is more than enough. Okay. Be an active listener. Very, very important. Recruiters assess not only what you speak, but also how well you listen. So maintain steady eye contact. Nod occasionally. Take mental or maybe you can work on written notes also. Okay. Quoting another participant's point and expanding it shows respect and work on your teamwork skills also. Okay. And please understand quality matters more than quantity. So it's not about how many times you speak, but what value you add. Okay. Add new perspectives, examples, facts, or solutions. Okay. Support your points with logic and data. Speak 3 to 4 times in a balanced manner rather than once in that many people want to think I have spoken one and they speak for a very long time like a monologue. Don't do that. Okay. Work on your posture, gesture, convey confidence. Your postures and gestures should convey confidence and openness. Okay. Sit upright in a relaxed posture. Keep your hands visible. Avoid crossing your hands. Okay. Or fidgeting. Maintain eye contact with everyone, not just the moderator. Okay, and respect others' opinions. Being too aggressive or dismissive can reflect poor teamwork. So acknowledge opposing viewpoints. Don't interrupt, others mid-sentence. Be very, very assertive. Okay, try not to be very dominating. Very important here. Okay, GD's panel, they observe your awareness of time and ability to balance the participation. Okay, so avoid monopolizing the discussion. Step in whenever there is a silence or when the discussion goes off track. Okay, and if you get the opportunity, if you're asked to summarize, cover all the sides briefly and objectively. Okay, be calm under pressure. Very, very important. Right? Then some common mistakes that you should avoid. So even strong candidates lose points due to some avoidable errors. Okay. So first one is dominating the discussion too much, talking for too long, too much, or cutting others in between. Okay. This can show you as an arrogant person, candidate. Okay. So interrupting or arguing unnecessarily is to be avoided. Instead, you should be assertive but collaborative also at the same time. Okay. Speaking too little shows lack of confidence or engagement. Okay. So waiting for the perfect moment that never comes is something that you should avoid. Right? Contribute early and meaningfully, even if it can be briefly also, doesn't matter. Okay, but try to contribute as and when you can. Right? Try not to ramble or jump between points that might confuse the group. Okay? Many people, they tend to make emotional and random statements. Avoid that. So here you should instead do what? Organize your points before you speak. Framework, pestle, SWOT, prep. Okay, work on that. Then, when you ignore people's points, other people's points, this shows your poor listening and teamwork skills. Okay, so repeating the ideas, what has already been said, that is one of the worst mistake that we can do. So instead, we should build on others' viewpoints and bring in new angles to it. Okay, uh, see, disagreement is very natural, but disrespect is not. Okay, so raising your voice or using some harsh language should be avoided. Be calm, be diplomatic. Okay, use good language, use good body language. Very important. Okay, sit straight, make eye contact, and stay engaged. Okay, leaning back, fidgeting, crossing arms should be avoided. Okay, walk into the GD with a basic knowledge on the current affairs. Okay, and uh, basically try to read more and more about your industry. Okay, about your JD also, your job descriptions. Okay, there can be topics that are related to your topic. Right? So stay updated on news, trends, and some social issues as well. Okay, overusing the jargons can also confuse others. We try to be very fancy. Oh, I am using such amazing words. Don't do that. There's no need to show off. Show off when you have the intellectual ability. That is where you will show up. Unnecessarily working on some buzzwords, not required. Okay. Use simple and precise language. Okay. Many people ignore the group dynamics also. So focus only on your performance and not on the team. Okay. This can hurt your evaluation. Okay. So contribute constructively and encourage participation here. So one rule that I can share here with you is the golden rule of 3-3-1. That is 3 meaningful entries into the discussion, 3 supporting gestures like listening, acknowledging, and agreeing, and 1 strong summary or concluding the statement. That is the golden rule of 3-3-1. Okay. Now, let us work on the teamwork related interviews. So teamwork related interviews, they focus on your ability to fusion effectively in team environments. Okay. Since most organizations, they rely on cross-functional teams, employers, they want to ensure that you can adapt, listen, share your credit, okay, resolve conflicts and contribute to team success without letting your ego or miscommunications hinder the progress. Okay. So when we talk about such type of interviews, it is important to, because they are very, very common. Right? So rather than just working on the question answer memorization, so here we are going to work on the different types of practical explanations, okay, that we can use, okay, during our such type of team-based interviews. So team-based interviews are very, very common. They are becoming very common these days, especially large organizations and technical companies where candidates are assessed by multiple panelists, okay, or through group activities. So the focus is not only on what you say, but also how you interact, collaborate, and think under shared pressure. Okay. So first is understanding the setting. Team-based interviews can take several forms: panel interviews, group interviews, case-based interviews. Okay. So behavioral questions, these explore how you acted in the past situations to predict your future behavior. So for example, tell us about a time when you had to handle a disagreement in a team. Right? So you can use the STAR method here. STAR is what? Situation, task, action, result. This we discussed in the behavioral interviews also. Okay, do check that video. Okay, then next is when you are in the situational questions. So these questions, they present hypothetical scenarios to assess problem solving and judgment. So for example, if two team members aren't cooperating, what would you do to do as their teammate? Okay, so here what you can do is think aloud, show your thinking process. Okay, demonstrate fairness and diplomacy here, and bring in some real experiences. Even though it is a hypothetical situation, connect it with something similar situation that you might have handled before. Okay, then we have career oriented. So these questions, they explore your long-term vision, your motivation, and your alignment with the company's values. So, for example, where do you see yourself in the 5 years? Or how does this role fit in your career goals? Okay, so here align with the company's mission, show your career path, that how it complements with the organization's growth. Show commitment without rigidity here. Okay, and highlight your continuous learning passion. Okay, and be authentic. Try not to be too uh, too overconfident. Okay, work that is what the team based interviews. Okay, these are very important when we work. So here the candidate who listens, builds, and communicates with purpose show that they are not only capable of doing the job, they are also but also, you know, they are doing it with people. Okay, productively, respectfully, and collaboratively. So that is where we work on such type of interviews. Okay, so be the here. My only advice for you here is be the candidate who, you know, who's ready to adapt to different types of situations during the GDs, during interviews, during the full hiring process. Okay, but at the same time, show your skills, show your capabilities, and without overconfidence. Confidence should be there. That authority should be there in you, but not something that you will take over the whole process. Okay? Be respectful and work on your collaboration skills. Okay? I hope this is clear for everyone. Any doubts, if you have, please let me know. Any questions if you have? No. No, all clear, I hope. Okay. So,
Yes.
see, the something that I'll share here with you is teamwork related interviews. There aren't just about proving you can work well with others. Okay, they are rather showcasing that you have collaborative. Okay, you collaborate strategically, basically. Okay, how you communicate. Your communication should be very clear. Okay, how you resolve the conflicts. That means resolving the conflicts gracefully and elevating the team's success as your own. Okay. So here, that is why work on the STAR method. If you don't know about the STAR method, we have already discussed about it in our previous sessions where we discussed about answering behavioral questions. Okay. So here you can do that. That is situation, task, action, result. So keep your answers structured and focused. Okay, highlight both your role and how you supported or motivated others. Okay, so this will definitely help you out in coming up with a very structured answer. Okay, work on, because here you are working on the team based interviews. So instead of I, use we more. Okay, use we to show teamwork and only use why when you want to show your initiative. Okay, so we developed the strategy together and I took the charge of communicating it with the client. Right? So you are working on both. You are showing your skill also, but at the same time, you're working on your team's spirit as well. Okay? Work on your emotional, your EQ, emotional intelligence, very, very important. Reflect empathy, listening, and adaptability in your tone. Okay? And in your body language also. So try to avoid phrases like, I told them what to do. Very wrong. We discussed and agreed on the next steps. Okay? Try to work, end your answers with what you learned from those experiences. Okay, the experience taught me that understanding others, etc., etc., and then you can go on. Okay, try to be positive. Do not never blame your colleagues, your managers, or your companies in your examples. Never do that. Okay, always frame challenges as learning opportunities. Always do that. Okay, clear? If we have any doubts, please let me know. Anything you want to discuss or give your inputs, you're most welcome. No, I hope it is clear for everyone. Okay, then. So we
Yes.
will, okay, great. So we will meet next week, same time, okay, 3 to 4 p.m. Tuesday with the last module, that is final mock interviews and feedback sessions. So how to work on it. Okay. Till then, please take care and hope we meet again. Bye bye and take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye bye.